Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm just gonna get into my weekly outlook analysis for this week. So I've already gone through the pairs and highlighted the ones I'm interested in for this week. So I'll just talk you guys through what I am seeing. All right, so we'll start here on AUDCAD. So this was analysis I did last week, I believe, right? So I was looking for price to push up into this level, give that rejection reason, rejection and entry reason to get involved. So that move already played out. I didn't catch that move this week, but however, this week coming up, what I'm looking for is, I'll just delete these levels for now. Right, so what I'm looking for here is just a retest of these broken lows, right? So we had on the daily time frame, we had a nice kind of structural low here, right? Just this low that was broken very impulsively. Obviously, yes, you could pull the zone back into the past, and you can see it's a very well respected level. So just looking for price to kind of come back into that level, show some signs of rejection. I'll be paying attention to it on the lower time frames, just to see if I get a nice entry reason at the level. I've got my alerts set there already, so we'll just be looking for something like that. I think that would be a nice, probably 50% retracement as well. I'll just pull a fib. Yeah, so it'll be a nice 50%, between 50% and 618, right? So that'll be a nice area to look for sells for me. I want to probably pay attention to these lows here as well, just on the 4-hour time frame. So anywhere kind of between this level, right? This zone here, that's what I'm looking at, right? So once price kind of pulls into there, that's what I'll be looking for. Not GBP, AUDJPY. So this one's probably going to be a trade on the lower time frames for me. Right, so I'm just looking at this H4 channel, which is what I trade. I took a trade around here last week, which actually I took two trades. I took one trade here, which stopped out, and then I took one trade here, which was a break-even trade. Right, but price seemed to just dip beneath the channel lows, right, or the ascending line of the channel, right, not the channel lows. But yeah, it dipped beneath, grabbed some liquidity, and quickly popped back up, right? So what I'm looking for on the lower time frames, just on the 1-hour time frame, we had this kind of shift in structure, right? So if I'm just looking at just how I look at structure, right? We had, if I just look at it here, we had that high, low, form that high, we form this higher low, and then we impulsively break these highs here, right? So that's the level I'll be looking at on these lower time frames. Now price may not, if price is to continue bullishly, I don't know if it will pull all the way back into those broken highs. So I'm just also going to look at, if I just jump back to the higher time frame, I'm just going to pay attention to these highs here, because we had a nice strong sell, but we had a strong buy, right, which formed the top of the channel at this level, right? So this is the start of the channel I'm looking at. So we formed this high at the start of the channel, and this is where we retraced from, right? So this is an important level for me, because it's kind of where the channel lines up right now, right? So if price pulls back into that kind of level there, I just want to pay attention to see what price does, because it'll be a nice confluence with the channel, the ascending channel line, the lows of the channel, right? So I just want to pay attention to that line as well. But the clearer entry on the lower time frames would be if it pulls back deeper into these broken highs here on the 1-hour time frame, right? So I'll pay attention to it to see what it does. If it does pull in here and start to reject, then I'll look for an entry reason around that level. However, if it pushes lower, right, so if it pushes lower from the level, right, then I'll look here to see what price is doing, and then also look for that continuation. I'll be paying attention to how price moves, because I know we could be having that shift in, we could be having that lower high, right? So we could also be having something like this starting to happen, right? So price could just start to break lower. So it's something I want to pay attention to, just to see what price is doing. So yeah, I'm keeping it on my list. I'm only going to be looking for longs for now. And if something like this, either one of these two scenarios set up, that's what I'll be looking to trade this week. AUDUSD is very, very similar, but we have a nicer kind of pattern formation here. So if I just kind of identify like this sort of neckline, right, we could kind of say we're seeing this head and shoulders pattern here, right? So you got your left shoulder here, you got your head there, just neaten this up, something like that, and then you got kind of messy, right? But you have this, let's just call this your right shoulder, right? And that kind of completes that head and shoulders formation, which is a nice reversal pattern. So what I'll be looking for to happen at this level, I could delete this now, this is old, and I know this is all on the 1 hour time frame, and the only reason I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame is because on the 4 hour time frame it already set up, right? This already played out. I should have gotten an entry around this level, but my entry was a little bit too early, right? And I was stopped out at break even. So now I'm just looking for scaling opportunities, and for me the scaling opportunities will come on the lower time frames. So I'll just be looking at this neckline to see if price pulls back correctively to the neckline. Right, so if price pulls back, shows some signs of rejection, maybe even dip beneath the level, I don't know, something like that, then I'll just be looking for that kind of continuation, right? Again, I'm paying attention to possible structure starting to form here, lower highs, lower lows, right? I don't know, oh, maybe actually. So if we just connect these two highs here, we might have a nice confluence of testing this as resistance, support turn resistance, right? Just this diagonal line. So I don't know, that might work out quite nicely. I don't know, I'll just be paying attention to it, see what price action is saying. If it gets back to the level, if it continues to move higher, I'll just be looking for levels within here to trade. But for now, based on where price is and the current price action, that's something I'll be very interested in. CADJPY, so this one, let's jump back to the higher time frames, right? So, all right, so I took a trade within here last week. I took a buy position within here on the lower time frames, right? But if I just focus on the higher time frames, what I'm looking at, so I'll just clean this up a little bit, right? So get rid of this, delete that, delete that, delete this, and so okay, so when I did analysis last, I was looking for price to kind of pull back from where it was, right? I was looking for that pullback, which would have been a 50% or 618 pullback, right? But now obviously you can see here on the daily, which is why I took that trade on a lower time frame. You can check the recap video I did yesterday where I explained that position. On the daily time frame, you can see here we in this massive impulsive long move, right? This bullish move, right? So I'll just be looking for a pullback, hopefully on the higher time frames. It might take some time for it to play out, which is why I have it highlighted in red. But what I'll be interested in seeing is if I just pull a fib from the highs, from the lows to the highs, right? And I just kind of focus on these. I guess I'll pull in these highs as well. It's a big zone, right? But I'm just looking at these highs, these previous highs here together with these previous highs here. Both were impulsively broken, right? The last broken high was this high here, which is why I have my this ray assigned to these highs, right? Because that's the most important area I want to look at for long positions, right? What I'd like to see, I don't know if it'll happen, but you know, hopefully we get a nice slow retracement back into these broken highs, right around here, confluence with the trend line maybe, and then just look for that continuation, right? Just like, don't pay too much attention to my my retracement drawing, right? But something like that, you get the idea, right? So we'll kind of have that corrective flag hopefully starting to form, confluence with the broken highs together with this trend line that's starting to form, hopefully, right? Just connecting this low to this low here and then extending it. The reason why I started my trend line from here is because that's the last structural break before this massive impulsive bullish move. So this is the structure levels here I'm looking at, right? So we had that wick high, we had that body close high, Price kind of struggled to break past, and then it broke past it. It didn't break impulsively, but it broke past it, pulled back, rejected the level, so that's where it grabbed the liquidity from. So it found a lot of buyers there, and this is where the move really started, right? So I'll just look at the low of where that move started. So this is the low of where the move started before the structural break. That's where I'll start my trend line, connect this low, right? Because that's the last, again, you know, the last structure break. So this is the last break of structure on the daily time frame. The move started from that low, so that's where I connected my trend line, and then that's what I'm looking for now, right? So that's where I'm looking for price to kind of pull back into. So anyway, a long drawn out explanation of what I'm looking for, but you get the idea. So hopefully that will set up this week, or not this week, in the coming weeks. If obviously, before I move on, if price starts to push higher, right? If we just start to break highs and, you know, this analysis becomes invalid, then all I'll be looking for is just on the shorter, smaller time frames, right? What I'll be looking for is a break of these highs, because those are the new highs, right? I'll just be looking for a break past these highs here, come back, retest, and then look for that continuation, right? So if that's if prices to continue pushing higher. But if we start to have that corrective move, then on the higher time frames, this is what I'll be looking for, right? CHFJPY. All right, so this move already played out, right? So there were two things. I think this was right. So, okay, so I did analysis around somewhere around this area, right? And I was saying I was looking for price to either push back into these previous highs here, which it did. Didn't catch that move, so that was a move that I missed. Or if price was to continue pushing lower, then I was looking for price to kind of pull back into these broken highs, right? Obviously that didn't happen. And the first, I'll just clean this up actually, one sec. Yeah, so this scenario here played out, right? So what I'll be looking at now would just be to see continued momentum, probably on the higher time frames, like the daily time frame, right? So we had, you can kind of see it clearly here, right? We had that strong bullish candle on the daily time frame pushing past these wicks. So I'll be paying attention to anywhere kind of between here and here. Yeah, that's anywhere kind of between there and the lower time frames. If price pulls back kind of in between this region, right? Anywhere in between that region. Although we already kind of had that spike inside, but that's okay. So I'll just be looking for continuation to see price push higher. Yeah, I want to see price continue to push higher, showing that signal of intent, and then a nice slow correction back into the level, show some signs of rejection, and then look for that continuation. Euro AUD, I did analysis around this area, and I was saying we could either see price break past this corrective, this correction here that we currently seeing, signaled by this. That didn't happen. Instead, we had that strong bullish move. I think it was Wednesday, right? So Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, strong bullish move off of the lows of the correction, right? So this is also something that's still in play. I'll just be waiting for this to kind of crack higher if it wants to crack higher, and then retest these kind of range highs, right? So I'll just be waiting patiently. I have it in yellow. I think I changed it from red to yellow this morning, right? So I want to see, hopefully, if it happens this week, if we get a nice bullish continuation, nice strong bullish move, come back, retest, then look for rejection. I don't know. I'll change it back to red actually, just because it's not super clear, right? We're just still kind of in this kind of slow corrective rangy kind of market, right? So, but you know, I'm seeing a longer term bearish correction, right? So we had this longer term bearish move, slow correction, so we might have that continuation. I don't know what phase it's in. I'm just waiting for price to kind of tell me what it wants to do. All right, so I'm just waiting to see what happens, right? If we do test the channel highs and then have a nice strong bearish move, then I'll just be looking for that continuation, right? Keeping it on the list because I just want to pay attention to it. See if either one of these scenarios play out, right? EURCHF. So this one I reintroduced to my list this week, purely because like I did analysis on this, I don't know, it feels like months ago. So back on, where was it, like April, beginning of April. So yeah, like a month ago, right? And I'm still waiting for this to set up, right? We had a break of these highs. It broke it very impulsively, and we started to have that slow correction, right? We have this nice trend line here that's being formed, right, with confluence of the broken highs. So I'm just waiting to see if price wants to pull back in. This would be a nice trading level for me for a very longer term swing. So yeah, I just want to keep it on my list and hopefully pay attention to it. Have it marked as red because it might take a few days or a few weeks for this to set up if it does. But yeah, I want to start paying attention to it again to see if I can get entry opportunity kind of around this area, right? EURUSD. So this is just a trade that I'm managing now. Just on the 4-hour time frame. So when I did analysis, I was saying that I'd look for price to continue pushing higher past these previous highs. If that happened, then I'd look for price to retrace into the broken highs. That didn't happen. Instead, the second scenario happened where I was looking for price to pull back into these broken highs, which is that shift in structure. All right, so that was the shift in structure just there. Broke it impulsively. Looking for price to come back. That did set up. So that's where I took my entry, which I spoke about in the video yesterday. So yeah, I'm just managing this position now. So what I'll be looking to hopefully see happen is just for price to continue moving bullishly, hopefully breaking past these highs, right? If that does happen and it doesn't hit my final TP just yet, I may look for scaling opportunities kind of around these highs if that does play out, right? So yeah, so I'll just be paying attention to it, see what price does, and if it continues to push higher, pushing into profit, and it pulls back and it gives me an opportunity, then these are the highs I'll be looking for. I mean, obviously it could just start to push low and take me out at break even, but you know, it doesn't really matter. All right, so moving on, GBPCAD. So on this one, analysis is still the same as last week. Just being patient on this one, hoping to see price pull back into these broken lows just here, right? We started to have that kind of slow corrective move. It almost got to the level, triggering my alert, but it didn't quite. So just being patient, hopefully waiting to see it do that this week. If it does, then I will look for my entry. GBPJPY. All right, so on this one, what I'm looking for is, all right, so here we had that nice area of resistance, right? And we had price broke through impulsively. And we're currently having price forming that area, that period of kind of consolidation, right? Slow, showing signs of weakness. This might just be accumulation, right? It might just be accumulating orders here to continue pushing higher, which is why I have these highs drawn in. Right, but the clearer entry for me, because of this impulsive break here past these previous highs, would be a nice slow retracement from where price is now. Slowly retrace back into the broken highs, give some kind of an entry reason, show some rejection, and then look for that continuation. I know that would probably be asking a lot of price, right? Because we already have this kind of, you know, we had this impulsive move here, showed that area of kind of accumulation, and then we had the impulsive move here, right? So we had that kind of flag pattern forming here. Same thing might be forming here, right? So if I look for if I just pull a fib kind of from this low here all the way to these highs, right, that would kind of be a 50%, or between the 38.2 and 50% region, which is okay, right? But price kind of already did its accumulation here, right? So the next area I'll be looking at is kind of from the lows of the accumulation to the highs, right? And this is kind of like the 618 level, which is a little bit more up my alley, right? Between the 50% and 618. I don't know if price would do that. You know, I'll be asking a lot of price to kind of make that pullback, but I don't know. It's what seems most valid to me. And if that does set up, then, you know, that's the kind of area I'll be interested in, right? Equally, because price is currently in this this accumulation phase, the next thing I'll be looking at as well is just a continued push higher. If it breaks out impulsively, then obviously I'll be just looking for that kind of retest here and then look for that continuation, right? GBPUSD. So this pair, all right, so this one, I could clean this up a little bit because all this stuff already played out, right? So last week, what I was looking for was for price to kind of pull back into these broken highs, right? And that didn't happen. At least it didn't happen just yet. We did, I think it was like a 50% retracement. So from this low here, so from this low here, these highs, yeah. So price pulled back into that 50% level and then just started to move higher, which is okay. That's cool. I think it's a confluence of these highs here, yeah. So it kind of respected these highs just there, which is all right. It's not the level I was interested in. I'm still interested in this level here because that's the last high for me to be broken impulsively. So I'll still be waiting to see if price wants to retrace from where it is now, right? If price does retrace from where it is now, then I'll just look for that rejection at my level and then look for continuation. Equally as normal, right? If price does start to push higher from where it is now, so if price continues in that bullish momentum that it has, just wait for that price, these highs to be broken here. Hopefully it's broken impulsively. Look for that retest. Hopefully get a nice entry reason and then look for that continuation. That's what I'll be looking for on that pair. GBPNZD. So this one's probably interesting, probably for market open. I don't trade market opens, as you, but I'm very, very tempted to take this one. I don't know, I'll do some deeper analysis on it once I'm finished with the video. But we're currently sitting at it rejected the 50% level, right? Kind of sitting between that 50% and 38.2 level. But more importantly, these are the last highs to be broken impulsively. Well, not impulsively, but last highs to be broken with structure, and price is currently retesting it, right? And we obviously in this longer term, very kind of rangy uptrend, right? After breaking this kind of downtrend here, right? So we were in a downtrend, we broke above and started to shift higher. So I'll be looking for long positions, even though it's kind of rangy. It recently started to trend here on the forward time frame, right? So this is interesting for me. It already kind of had that rejection, so it'll just be a case of finding that entry reason on the lower time frames, which actually is probably very, very close to coming. Let's see what that would look like. So stops there, targeting previous highs. All right, so got that got some nice divergence here on the 15-minute time frame. So lower lows on price, but very, very higher lows on the RSI, which is regular divergence on the lower time frame. Plus we had that bullish engulfing candle. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I'll pay attention to it on market open to see what it does, see how the pair opens. NZDCAD. All right, so this one's also interestingly probably ready to go here on market open, right? So we had prices currently testing these broken lows here after this kind of accumulation phase. Broke through impulsively, currently came back to retest. It hasn't rejected, right? But it's paused at the level, right? So it paused here on this candle, and then we had that indecision candle. So it depends on how market opens. If it gaps up, then that will probably invalidate the trade unless it breaks back beneath, right? So we'll have to see how market opens with this one. And I know this one is a little bit clearer for me than the GBPNZD pair, right? So it's a little bit clearer for me. They're both NZD related, so I'll probably only take one if I do take one. So I might probably might take this one, right? NZDCHF. So this we probably skip NZDCHF. Though this one I'm just paying attention to it. There's no entry criteria yet for me on this, but you know, it's playing out as expected. It's staying within this channel. It currently retested. We didn't break beneath, right? So we never broke beneath, but we currently respecting this level here. We had the rejection and starting to push higher. So I'm just waiting to see if we get that nice impulsive break past. If we do, then I'll be looking for long positions there. NZDJPY. So on this pair, we had a nice clearly clean respected trend line. Price is currently at these previous highs. If I'm to get long on this pair, I'm just going to wait to see price break impulsively higher, come back, retest, look for that entry reason, and then look for continuation. USDCHF. So this one currently set up. This one set up last week as expected. I didn't take the position as I said on the call, not on the call, on the video yesterday. However, what I'll be looking for now is just to see price hopefully break past these lows just here. If it breaks past it impulsively, right, a nice daily close. We want a daily close beneath the level. Wait for price to kind of pull back into the level and then look for that continuation. USDCAD. So this one never set up, right? Well, it didn't set up just yet. It might still set up. I don't know. I'll leave my alert where it is for now because that's a clear trading level for me. Price is just kind of consolidating right now. So hopefully we have that nice slow retracement back into the level. If that does happen, then I'll look to get short there. Obviously, if price continues to push lower, right, push bearishly, then I'll just look for that impulsive break past these current lows, right? So if price breaks impulsively, closes on the daily beneath, then I'll just look for that price to kind of pull back and then look for that continuation. USDJPY. So this is the last pair. So on this one, I'm just waiting to see if price wants to pull back into this level here. Just these previously broken structural highs just here, where price broke impulsively here on the forward time frame. I've got my alert set just above the level. We're currently having that slow correction, right? So I'll just wait to see if price continues to correct slowly, right? Trigger my alert, hopefully get that entry reason, and then look for continuation. Yeah, so that's what I'll be looking for on this pair. And that's pretty much it. I think this video ended up a bit longer than expected, but you know, as usual, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. You know, obviously, if you like what you see and you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. And if you think these videos would be useful for anyone trying to learn to trade, or if you think the way I analyze the markets would be beneficial to somebody, please feel free to share the video with them. Cool. I will catch you guys in the next video, whenever that will be. All right. See you guys later.